the one W they got was jumping on those dudes. They were talking about killing gay people. I said, we got to nip this in the bud, man.
Yep, that is the one W they've had. That's it. Everything else has been L's.
Yo, stop. The chat had me wilding too, man. The chat was like,
"Oh my god!"
Bethesda slaps a woman, and Anchor's like, "She had it coming."
She had it coming.
What King says though, I gotta give it to Anchor, man. Anchor rides that all the way.
Man.
Yeah,
For real.
yeah. All right, everyone. We are live. Welcome back to another Basement Radio Arcade podcast on this glorious Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know about you guys, but I'm in a good mood. I'm happy because
you're on that contact high. That's what.
Exactly. Let me tell you about that real quick. So I was telling these guys earlier, I was walking down to the subway station to head home, and I was walking, open up the door, walk down the stairs, and all of a sudden I had this familiar smell in the air. That smell of burnt pine cones.
Smells like college.
Yes. Yes. Smelled a lot like my teenage years and my young adult years, and God, hopefully my when I turned 50, those years too. So, but yeah, it was good. It was good times. Anyhow,
what you're talking about.
Did you hang around for a little while? Just kind of, just let the smell, let it all drift in, and before you took off, you just try to get out of there as quickly as possible.
Oh no, Slow-Mo, I was about to call E up and be like, "Hey E, give me 8 pounds of your Swedish Chiba."
You have people thinking I sling, man.
You live in South Florida.
You guys want contact how you come to my house, because the vent in my bathroom, whoever's directly connected to that vent is doing it up.
Blazing.
What?
Blazing.
That's funny, man. That's funny. Yeah. So wait. So Sav, do you have to close the vent? Keep it closed at night?
I put, what I do? I put a paper towel over it, because the suction will kind of bring it on. So I'll put a paper towel over it to sort of hold some of it, but man, so you sit out, you sitting on the throne or whatever, you're gonna get some of that, man. You're gonna have a good time.
Oh man, you gotta come out of the throne feeling good.
Feeling real good.
I feel nice right now. I feel nice.
I feel relaxed. Anyhow, yeah, you know what, guys? We got a lot of gaming related news topics to talk about. By the way, my voice is like 10 times better today. I don't think I'm gonna have DMX like I did last week. Thank God.
We gotta get to like the 10 o'clock hour.
Yeah, we gotta wait.
Yeah, you get past that 10:15, 10:30 point, you might be all right.
Then I sound like the DOC.
That's when you start fading, man.
Endo.
No, it's actually kind of like 9:45. That's 9:45. Like
it's about that. It's
about 10:45. 10:45 on the dot is like right when it's like his voice goes from normal to like what happened?
Sound like
a battery drain, man.
Yeah, man.
You made me sound like I'm deaf, Slow-Mo.
Hey man, that's how you be sounding, man. I be like, man,
I don't sound that bad, man.
You reggae voice on that one of those old minute plans. Like,
man, this is a Barry White plan.
Hey, what's up, ladies?
Hey, y'all remember? You guys all remember that free nights and weekends?
Oh yeah, man.
Shit. I remember like the first
7, baby. Don't call me till 7.
Yeah,
that's right. Call me.
It's like, what is you doing, man? Why you calling me right now?
Man, hey, I used to have a friend, man. He was like one of the first guys I knew had like a cell phone, and he had an Ericsson phone. His plan was like the first minute free, and he would talk to you for 50 seconds and hang up the phone.
Yeah, you had to work the system on those things, man.
It never failed, man. Then finally they took it away. Oh my goodness, too funny. That's like 20-some years ago.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
Yeah.
Well, we got a special guest this evening, everybody. We have Lord Sovereign from the IOP. finally making his return to BRAP. It's been some time, man. We know we've been trying to get you back on for a long time, and
yeah, you have, man. I'm
just haven't lined up.
my schedule is notoriously horrendous. I am not a vampire like the rest of the Lord. So, I have normal sleep schedules most of the time. So it's like being here on a Wednesday night is, it's usually a little difficult, let's say.
Yeah, you're the day walker of the crew.
Yeah, I'm the only day walker of the crew.
Yeah, I mean, how is that, man? It's funny. You guys are everyone works at night, man. I'm like, what? Like, was that like designed by plan? Like, you guys get together and say, you know what, we're all gonna work at night.
I don't know how long Cog has been doing it, but I know King has been doing it for years. And then Addict, I guess. I mean, considering the type of work he does, a lot of customer service stuff, and like I think it fluctuates, but I just think he prefers to work in the evenings. And then and Kai Batu, he loves working in the evenings. Like that graveyard shift, I don't know what it is, but I can't do it, man. I cannot work overnight and then come and sleep away my entire day and get up when it's dark again. So in the winter time in New York, that'll just throw you off completely, man. Because you go to bed and it's dark and you wake up and it's dark and it's man, I can't do it.
I think I know what it is. I think I know what it is. I think I figured they all have switches, right?
That's what it is. Like,
graveyard shift, nobody's there.
Yeah,
they get that.
It is true.
usually nobody's there. You get that game
if I
time.
check my switch right now, I can guarantee you Kai's on. That's for sure. Yeah, that's for sure. Then Cog later on, and when you know that King isn't turning his on ever, and Addict won't be turning his on. And I guess Addict is playing some Pokemon. I can imagine that, and
right.
And obviously this weekend everybody's gonna be playing some Smash. So
yeah, no doubt, man.
I'm a Smash newbie, man. This is gonna be my first one.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
I never by the time the first Smash came out, I was so like knee deep into like Tekken and like the Aki wrestling games. Like I looked at Smash and I was like, nah, I don't want to play this kiddie stuff. Yeah. I just never touched it. And now, like I said, I'm older and like I'll try anything now. Like I'll play whatever comes down the pipeline. So I'm excited because I've never ever touched the Smash game.
It's a different animal because you have other like elements going on outside of like a typical fighting game. It's about it's mostly about staying on the screen and on the platform.
Staying on the platform because very easily you can be knocked off and you trying to get back on and that dude just waiting for you like
man.
You're sitting up.
Exciting. I don't even know that the fighting part is the most exciting about it for me. It's just like the Nintendo. Man, like that game is the biggest love letter to all things Nintendo. It's like a museum of Nintendo stuff. So
because I have a homeboy who's like a Castlevania like stan like all through and through. Like he never really rocked with Smash. Like he played with his son every now and again. The minute this one was announced, like with the Belmonts in it,
that was
a wrap. He's talking about nothing but Smash.
That's crazy.
So I think a lot of people are gonna be that way.
I think Smash is gonna. I don't know, man. Pokemon's doing great, but something about this Smash in particular, it's gonna put some numbers up.
Yeah, B said that.
Yeah, this one's gonna be
good. Yeah.
Yeah, this one's definitely be good. I'm excited. So, but yes, we're excited to have you on, man.
Thanks for having me, man. I'm so glad to be back.
Yeah, definitely. It's an honor, man. And you know what, man? You guys are like La Familia, man. Familiar to us. So,
man, you guys are always, man. You got the round table. You guys are family. You know how that goes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We say like, there's certain people you aren't guests when you walk in, like, and BRAP has popped in Enrique a few times if there's certain topics that he has something special to talk about or whatever. You're jumping in, and that's just the way we roll. And
no doubt.
No, I definitely appreciate it, man. Just love what you guys are doing. Big fan. Love the new T-shirts.
Oh, did you see those, man?
Yes.
Nice, man.
Shout out to Sean Labrie, man. Sean Labrie is amazing. He does some amazing work.
Yeah, he does, man. He does.
Yeah, like you can just give him a concept. A lot of times we just give him very general concepts, and he always just hits the nail right on the head. Exactly what we're trying to get to. This dude is amazing. So if you need anything done, go to see Sean Labrie.
Nice. All right, man. Well, Slow-mo, man. You got to get a T-shirt, man, with your logo, man. I like that.
with the backslap.
Yeah.
Hey yo, I was on Scumcast last Saturday, and Porter Rock was like, "Yeah, man, you need he was like, man, you need to add some spit to it." So add some spit coming out the side of the mouth. I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. Luca was getting mad. Was like, don't be giving him ideas. He gonna come up with some crazy stuff next. I'm like,
who said that?
Luca.
Slow-mo, who made that?
This is funny. All right, so like what is his name? He's always with Mooch and Crap.
I know you're talking about
J-Dub. Yeah, J-Dub made this. He made off of like when I first started doing all this, I was like on Scumcast, which is like a real picture of a real guy getting backslapped. That's what the picture is, like the dude's head. It was all that. And I was like, hey, look, can you just take this and, you know, make it like animated, but like, you know, put my name at the bottom. And like he made this in like 30 minutes. I was like, man, can I tell you some other stuff to do? But I mean, you know, shout out to J-Dub. He really hooked me up. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is perfect. I think it could use the spit. The spit would make it that.
hey, look! Enough people have said it. All right, I'm about to hit up J-Dub and be like, hey, man, can you add some spit coming out?
Yeah,
do it, man. Do it now. Do it now. Hey, real quick, I want to give a big shout out to the gaming community, to the YouTube provocateurs out there, the people that were piling on Bethesda. Changes happened. Because you expressed yourself, despite the naysayers, despite the people that went out there and said, stop piling on. It's Bethesda. It's just buggy. It's games as a service. It's part of the charm. Despite all that, you guys voiced your concern, your opinions about the bag, the nylon bag, which King was so kind to all of us on the ILP on Sunday.
For some reason, the nylon bag had a key food sign on it. I don't know what that meant, but you know, it's a key food. I don't know why.
Oh my god, it's so funny. I was watching. Oh my god, what's his name? Did a podcast with him. Noximus. Yeah, Noximus. And he's from New York, man. He's funny. He's like, oh, he's got like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen his videos, but they're pretty funny. He's like, oh, I got the collector's edition, and he pulled out this bag, and the guy's like, I guess he has a guy, Chauncey. I think it's him, but he records the voice and then puts it into the video. But he's like, nah, son, that's not the bag they gave you. He got the bag the French bread came in. And it was a baguette bag of French bread. Oh my god.
Yo, that's too funny.
I was dying, but no, but you know what though? I mean, seriously, like, you know, I think it's funny because we had you guys had Anchor on Sav on the ILP. We were talking about, you know, the whole Baggate stuff, and you know, if the media was piling on, and you know what, man, it's good that we piled on because Bethesda has now said, you know what, for those people who bought the collector's edition, you have to, I think it's the end of January, if I'm not mistaken, to you know, submit your claim, put a claim in. You got to show proof of purchase and whatnot, obviously, but you know, submit a claim to get the canvas bag that they initially promised.
Hey man, shaming works. Thank you, internet. Yep. Shaming works because there's just certain instances, man. Just certain things you can't let slide. Honestly, like I said on our show when we talked about it, if they had advertised this across the board, and then across the board it wasn't that, you can have somewhat of a beef, but at least, you know, the stripes would be uniform. Now, when when you're seeing the influencers and other people are getting the Gucci bag, then there's a there's something to be addressed there. So I'm just glad, you know, hey, you know, they've been taking so many L's with this game. They have to do what they can to try to please the player base while they work on the game itself. So
you know, us as gamers, we have very few options when a developer or a publisher kind of, you know, tries to get one over on us or kind of does us wrong. Our options are really don't buy the game, you know, vote with your wallet, or make a loud ruckus on social media and embarrass the hell out of this publisher or / developer until they give in. And this is one of those cases where it actually worked out, you know, and it's difficult to be the hey, if you don't like it, don't buy the game. All right, you know, you don't buy the game, but you just one person, you know. There's a lot of Fallout fanboys who's just like they complain. And let me not call out the Fallout fanboys, just fanboys of any particular IP in general. They do this. They complain, like COD community, Battlefield community. They do a lot of complaining, but then when that game launch, they right there and in line buying the game anyway. So it's you know, it's glad that the overall community, even people who didn't even really care about Fallout and weren't even going to buy the game, but they saw something that was like, that's not cool.
Right.
Nah, we can't let this slide. You know, everyone gets together when the whole community says enough. You know, things happen.
Facts.
Yeah.
But see, that's how it should be, like, more often. Because I think more often than not, you get the thing where you're vocal, people come at you and tell you that you're wrong. Right? Because they take it on as, you know, being in like their own feelings about something, you know. And I get that ultimately gaming is in a way is a selfish hobby. I know that sounds wrong to say, but it really is. You're a consumer in gaming, so you want what you want and you want it to be right. So even if you're not interested in something, if your gaming friend or your gaming brother, whatever it is not feeling something a certain way, there's nothing wrong with jumping in that, you know, in that battle with them and banding together. You can get more done. We have, like Nate said, you know, we have examples that when gamers unite and speak together, things happen. You know, but too often we get this whole divisive thing where it's like, you know, I got to defend whether it's my piece of plastic, whether it's this company or whatever the case may be. I got to tell you, you know, stop tripping. You know, you're not entitled. You're not this. You're not that. And it's like, no, you plunk your money down. You're entitled.
Hey, that's a good point,
right.
man.
Yeah, I think oftentimes we are like, you know, we do sort of as a whole act entitled about certain things. Oh, this game should have this feature, this, that, and the other. We have certain expectations for games, and you know, when you're talking about a feature in a game or something like that, and there's a big uproar over it. Yeah, to a certain extent, it is entitlement because hey, we're just used to whatever we want, what we want, and if we've gotten it in the past, we definitely expect it. So it's good when we band together for something like this. That it's like, again, it's not life or death, right? But it's obvious that, you know, if people love your game and love this series as much as people do, I'm gonna plunk down serious amounts of money to get this, you know, amazing looking helmet and this, what they expect to be a high quality collector's edition, then yeah, they need to get what they paid for. And simply put, you know, anything less than that is unacceptable.
Yeah, no doubt, man, no doubt. And you know, speaking of you know, games and things that, you know, issues where gamers may take or have issues with, have you guys been keeping up with some of the let me full disclosure, I haven't played Red Dead Online. I'm assuming, I think I know Slow-Mo, you mentioned that you have. Has anyone else on the panel played Red Dead Online?
Haven't had it yet. No.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm still trying to finish the actual main game, so I haven't really put anything else in.
You gotta get on that, man.
I am, man. I'm in chapter 6.
So yeah, I'll briefly talk about my my feelings about it. Now I talked about this on Crossfire last week, and
well, real quick, someone, let me ask something because I don't know if you talked about the gameplay or the currency.
I didn't touch the currency at all because I barely did any of that. Like I played for like 2 hours.
Yeah, I
looked at some of the store stuff, but I didn't really get deep into it. But now that a lot of stuff has been coming out about the currency, and it's pretty bad. It's like it's up there with like mobile games, like free to play mobile games. Yeah, it's pretty egregious. Like you basically have these, like the premium currency is like these gold bars. And you do missions, you do things, and you're supposed to earn money and you earn gold bars, but you don't earn like you're basically earning like gold dust, like nuggets. Like it's not even.
He's not lying. It's like you earn like gold.
Yeah, it takes like 4 hours to earn like one actual full gold bar. It's ridiculous, and the prices of things are like in the regular game. Let's say you want that what do they call it? Lancaster repeater, right? You know that kind of rifle. In the regular game, that would be, you know, maybe like $30-$40 or something like that. On Red Dead Online, it's like hundreds of dollars. And but you don't earn hundreds of dollars. And then on the flip side, like everything that you have, like your camp, your the spacing, your stable, all that stuff every single day is an expense. So not only are you not earning enough to actually be able to pay for a lot of the stuff that you want, like clothes, new weapons, so on and so forth, maybe new horse or whatever in the game, it's difficult to do that already. Then add on top of that you have like they're taking money away from you for daily upkeep on certain things. You got to pay for your ammo. I mean, that was in GTA 5 Online too as well, but it's a really, really bad system. And they said they're going to address it, but I mean, they haven't added the whole, hey, you can use real money to pay for the gold bars yet, but that's coming. And so this is all this is leading to is at some point they're going to introduce some kind of pack or some kind of microtransaction the same way they got the shark cards on GTA Online. And that's going to be your way of getting gold bars to be able to get some of this stuff quicker, because if not, I mean, who's going to spend like 12 hours just trying to get, you know, an outfit? Nobody trying to do that.
Right.
So besides that, gameplay wise, like how does it differ from just a single player part?
It's have you ever played GTA Online?
A little bit at launch, really not maybe 3-4 hours.
Hey guys, real quick, I don't want to. I mean to interrupt, but we have a very special guest here. Someone who I know that Forte and Slow-Mo Backslap have a very strong, maybe fatherly type of relationship with.
Oh Lord,
we have the Ashley Luca here.
Luca? Who's that?
Or Potter.
Oh yes, I am. Yes, I am Slow-Mo and Forte's dad. That's true. What's up, guys?
What up, Luca?
This is not happening tonight.
What's up?
What's up, kiddos? How's it going? How are my sons doing?
I love it.
Well, your son, Gaming Forte, is doing great, I think. And
and how's my eldest, Slow-Mo Backslap?
Who?
Look, man, stop trying to denounce your heritage, man.
Denouncing his heritage. Like, I'm trying to inherit the land of scum, but he doesn't want it for some reason.
Oh my god, this is.
Oh my god,
Luca's like everything the light touches.
everything the scum touches. Yeah, crazy.
Oh my goodness. Well, Luca, hey, all joking aside, welcome back to BRAP. Glad you could join us. I know you were gonna hop in some Destiny, or maybe you are still some Destiny DLC. So appreciate it.
Ain't no damn DLC.
We'll get to
trash.
We'll get to that.
Bad? Really?
Yeah,
Trash.
we'll get to that in just a second. But
I'm so shocked. I'm really hurt by that. That's terrible.
Yeah.
Shut the hell up, Slow-Mo.
What?
Wow. Okay, wait, hold.
You know what? Just because for that, I hope they cancel Dragon.
Facts.
Wow.
Hurting myself.
Why would you hurt yourself?
To get ahead, I will do things to hurt myself to get ahead. Okay.
That is really mean, Luca. I mean, that is so unnecessary.
Yeah.
She wants Dragon Age 4 to be Dragon Age 76.
Basically, not. Definitely not.
No, please no.
Oh my goodness. But we'll get to Destiny because I do want to talk about that because I've heard some interesting things about the Destiny DLC. But no, but the Red Dead currency is interesting because like I was like someone like you talked about the bars and it being like gold dust.
Yeah.
Like someone on Reddit like broke down like if you do horse races, a horse race will be like 10 minutes and you'll get like what equates to like 0.05 gold.
Yeah.
So
it's so ridiculous how bad it is. It makes no sense to me. I haven't even played enough of it to like really dig into that, because I told you about the character creator. I thought the character creator was terrible, and I hate looking at my character. And then, but one thing it does have over GTA Online is there is a narrative there. It's a pretty light narrative, but there's a narrative there for Red Dead Online, and there are actual missions to do and quests or whatever. But it didn't really draw me in like the regular game. Clearly, this is something that they definitely did not spend as much time on as they did in the actual story mode. So it's something that's probably going to take some time.
You think maybe it's not an issue of them not spending enough time, but hey, they made a shitload of money selling those shark cards on GTA Online. They probably said, you know what, fuck it, we're gonna make this as egregious as possible and see what happens.
We got to remember who the parent company is.
That's what I'm saying.
The parent company is Take-Two.
Yes,
and they are about that money.
And they got B's money.
They got plenty of my money. So, and they got plenty of other people's money with GTA. You know what I mean? GTA came out in 2013. Like, they still eating off of that. They still eating, and people still playing that game.
They don't really care about the product being polished at launch. And
very true.
They'll do that, you know, as time goes on. So
yeah, that's very true, Solve, because this launch is actually better than GTA Online's launch. GTA Online was unplayable for like the first 2 weeks.
Yeah,
you couldn't even get into a server, and when you did get in, it lagged like nobody's business, and then you just would get kicked out. It was pretty bad for like the first month, and then you play it now. It's I mean, even like a couple of months after it got started, it got a lot better. But at least you could actually play Red Dead Online. Like very first day. Well, I think maybe the second day. I heard some people had some issues the first day. But, by the time I got to play, which is the second day, I had no issues whatsoever with like lagging out or any performance issues. It was just, I mean, it was just bad. Just be honest. I didn't enjoy that. I haven't gone back since. So
how do they handle Deadeye, or do they just eliminate it?
Oh no, it's how it is. Well, I didn't use Deadeye. I didn't use Deadeye in the 2 missions that I did. I didn't feel the need to, but the lock on and the auto aim, all that's there. So
that's there, okay.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing is, so they say like activities like the chores, like fishing and stuff and hunting, yield you more money than like the activities are supposed to be fun. And then like things like, I think you brought up horses, slow-mo. I think there's like a horse that's like 85 gold bars.
Yes.
Somebody on Reddit said it would take you 300 hours of grinding to get that many gold bars. I mean, so I only bring this up because just like the gaming community got together and kind of piled on top of Bethesda, I hope that's the case here, because this is really egregious for microtransactions.
They're not. Don't even hold your breath.
Oh my god.
Well, I mean, I've seen a lot of gaming media complaining about this so far.
They're complaining, but it's not going to make a difference on this one.
I think the currency thing will be addressed at some point, obviously, because that's going to be their money maker for however many years down the line. But yeah, I don't think anything else, then they're really not listening to you.
Well, Rockstar did come out, and I'm not going to read the whole entire quote, but they said, we read some of your concerns. We're addressing the economy. I think there's an update coming up end of this week, and I think they're going to make some changes next week too. So they're tweaking some of the things there, but to what degree and how much better it's going to be, we'll see.
Look, man, Grand Theft Auto Online was
the same thing about 2K.
Grand Theft Auto was egregious when it came online for the money. 2K's been egregious for the last 5 years. It ain't gonna change, bro.
Yeah, like when people were complaining about buying like headbands and haircuts and
right, you gotta
shit like that. Like they're like, oh, we're gonna address it, and then like all they do is cut the price down by like a little bit.
Or all they do is when the game releases, they'll have 10% off VC, and everybody spends all their money on the first day to get all that money. That's it.
Oh man,
that's it.
So you're saying we're fucked.
when it comes to 2K and anything that Rockstar puts out, we're fucked. Because that's not even a joke. It's just the fact that it's not even a joke. It's just the fact that when you look at those two games, the community supports it no matter what. They always say, I'm not buying I have so many people say, I'm not buying 2K next year. What happens? The day they come into the store, 2K comes out, hey, you need to get VC. Yeah, you know what? Let me get $150 worth. And then they go home, and guess what? They'll come back 2 days later. Dog, I need to make another character. I need another $200 worth. No, man, that shit ain't changing. It's so many. It's like everybody's a well in that game.
How much VC do you think you sell like in the first week of a release of 2K?
I sold 320 pieces of VC on 350 copies of the game in the first weekend.
Wow. Oh my god!
So I had like a 97% attach rate, some shit like that.
Jesus.
Wow. And of course, all those people didn't buy VC with each game, but it was just the people that kept coming back over the weekend to buy more VC after they bought their game.
Forte, I have lost faith in the community now.
I ain't lost faith in the community. I just know that when it comes to this game and when it comes to Rockstar, it's not going to change, because the one thing is, what did you expect from a game that takes itself more of the realistic approach? I mean, that's why shit in the game. That's why you have to have upkeep in the game. You have to do it in a single player, so they're going to make you do it in a multiplayer too. And so they're saying, well, we're going to carry the same functionality over to the multiplayer. They did the same thing in Grand Theft Auto.
You gotta have insurance for your horse.
Yeah, you gotta have insurance.
Right. Well, you gotta have insurance for your house in Grand Theft Auto. You gotta have it for all your shit in Grand Theft Auto.
They tripping.
So, remember in Grand Theft Auto, you had to have an apartment before you could do like any heist.
Yeah, I remember that.
And all that bread
remember, you had to have a garage.
You
had to have a garage
before you get your apartment. It was a little bit better in GTA though, because your apartment was only like $40 rent. It was something cheap.
But who actually lived in an apartment? Everybody wanted that $40 million penthouse that they had to fork out tons and tons of money to get.
Yeah, but the upkeep on that was cheap too. It was
upkeep was, well, that's because they bit you in the ass in the beginning.
Yeah.
Well, look, I played GTA Online for like a year and a half.
That shark cars are not as bad now, and that's only because they give it away with pretty much every copy of the game they give now. They make more money off the shark card purchase than they do off the game at this point, because they discount it so much. So anybody
that's why the game is always in the top 20.
They're just buying copies of the game to get the shark card.
To get the shark cards.
Just buying shark cards. But when I played GTA Online, I played it for like a year and a half with my friends. I've never spent microtransactions. I never paid for the shark cards. Never did any of that. I just earned my own money going around, robbing people, doing the missions, just having fun. And whenever I would earn my money, then I would soup up my cars and stuff. I never felt the need to go get like shark cards to get more money. Whereas in Red Dead, I'm looking at it and I'm like, right off the break, I don't want to do any of this stuff because it's just the grind is so,
it's not fun.
So steep.
I have a question for you though. Do you know there is a bug in the game right now for the money, right? Where you can get unlimited money, right?
Yeah.
Wait. You talking about the story mode or
no? The multiplayer.
Multiplayer there is right now.
There's a bug. You can get unlimited money, and the reason I bring that up is, do you think that is by coincidence? There was a bug in Grand Theft Auto 5 when it launched and the online came out where people could get millions and millions and millions of dollars in the very first month of the game. And what did Rockstar do? They didn't take that money away from people. They let them keep that money. But guess what it did? It fostered a belief that people were able to get that money so fast. They were so used to having it. So when they fixed it finally, it made people to want to go out and spend more money because they realized how much that was valuable to them to be able to spend that money. They're doing the same thing with Red Dead Redemption. They're not going to fix it no time soon. They're going to let the player base. They're going to let the player base swell up on all of this stuff that they want to get. And when they start dropping those extra DLC expansions and those extra free updates, people are going to be like, man, I would like to have this Italian stallion that runs like at Mach 9, but it costs $50 million. And guess what? Instead of grinding for it, they're gonna be like, you know what? Rockstar messed around and gave us money for free earlier, and they didn't take it away from us. So I'm willing to go in and give them some money, and then that's where the cycle's gonna start at over again.
I'm about to go glitch. I'm not gonna lie. I might have to take advantage of that real quick.
Oh, I already glitched. I've been glitched.
Oh wow! Hey, Slow-Mo, we need a glitch, man. We gotta meet up and glitch.
We gotta glitch. I thought y'all
played Red. I thought I was the only one that played it. Y'all already talking about
I just went into glitch to get the money because I don't know when they're gonna fix it. That's it. I just wanted to have enough money in my portfolio to make sure I'm good no matter what they do later on with the game.
Is it a different glitch that's in the story mode? Because the story mode one was basically you find like it's a burnt down town. You go find like a gold bar and you just kind of.
It's pretty much the same thing.
It's the same thing. So it's wow. So they patched the other one, but they didn't patch.
Oh, but they left it in the multiplayer.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. All right.
Color me impressed with that one.
All right.
Surprised.
Hey, real quick before we move on to Destiny, because I really want to hear Forte's thoughts on Destiny.
Yeah.
Anyone else have any thoughts on Grand Theft Auto? Not Grand Theft Auto 5. Red Dead Online 2.
Nope.
Nah.
All right.
Still doesn't change the fact that the game's a masterpiece.
Oh, I agree. It's
absolutely.
It's a masterpiece. Yeah.
The story mode is generation.
More people buy that game for the single player than anything.
Oh, absolutely. I got my money's worth. I mean, just off the single player alone, it's my game of the year. But let's get to Destiny. Forte. I want to hear about your Destiny experience, man. You sound a little upset.
Oh man. Okay, so
I want to hear Lucas' thoughts too. I think Lucas played as well.
Yeah, I feel like we're back on the bullshit.
I think we all on the same boat on this one. So me being the Destiny hound that I am, I took the day and yesterday off for new DLC. Been grinding all weekend to save up stuff to make sure my character was ready to go into the new DLC. And guess what happens at 12 o'clock yesterday? I log into a game, go and say, oh, you have to go see Spider in a Tangle Shore. Cool. He gives me this item and says, hey, you got to go back to the fucking tower to go to the Black Armory. I'm like, first of all, why is we're in a new tower. This is a new tower. This isn't an old tower. This is the new tower. Why is there Black Armory and who built this in the new tower? The shit doesn't make sense to me at all. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to suspend disbelief on this. So I go down into the basement and I go talk to Ada1, whatever. And then she tells me to go out and collect stuff to build up this key to be able to go to the forge and do what I need to do. I do all that, which first of all was the first problem. They got you going back playing old content instead of new content. I don't buy a DLC to go back and play shit that I've been playing for the last 3-4 months.
But 14, that's a Destiny formula, though.
No. It's not a Destiny formula because every DLC that came out up to this had something new that you had to do. You don't do nothing new in the beginning of this game. You go see Spider, you go see a new area in a place that you already been to 1,000 times, and then you just look around, it's like, oh, this is nice. There's nothing down here but this freaking robot. So I go off and do all of these things and finally get my key, and I get to the forge. And I'm thinking cool, now it's time to start forging my first weapon. I go into this and I'm like, what? Why is this light level 615? So listen, the light level in Destiny right now was 600 before this DLC. So you telling me you expect people to pick up your brand new DLC or bring people back to a game that they probably left a long time ago, and they're probably not even light level 600. So you telling me that people that bought this DLC is going to be able to go directly into this game and play new content, and the first thing that they are the first wall that they come up to is a a Delta scale of 615 and they can't even do damage to the bosses or nothing? What is that all about? So my whole thing is I don't understand what the thought process along this was. There are 3 different forges that they're releasing. I will give them that. They're releasing 3 different forges over the course of this month. The next one comes out on the 8th. My whole thing is, why didn't they start the first forge at like light level 605 or 600? Give people a reason to say, hey, this was cool. I was able to forge my first weapon. And then you start the grind to get to the next level for the next forge, which could be 615. And then go from there, it could be 630 because the rate is going to start at 640. So I just don't understand the decisions they made and how they think that this is going to make the game better for people that didn't even play the game in the first place. And they did come out and say this is considered in-game content. I do agree with that, but guess what? The problem with in-game content like the Forge is, what was Escalation Protocol when it came out? Was that not considered in-game content? What is it considered now? Some cheap bullshit that you just go in there with your friends just to go get them a shotgun that they probably don't have. That's all that is. That is not hard. All it is time-consuming now. What was Blind Well when it first came out? It was another activity to help you bump in light, but if you're at 600, you're flying through Blind Well now. You're not having any issues in that. So this activity is going to turn into the same thing. And guess what? Our next DLC doesn't come out until like what, February or March? So hopefully something changes over the course of the next 3 weeks with this DLC, because if this is the continuation of what's going on from here going forward, I don't know how many people are going to stick around with this, because they just made a huge misstep in the way that they handled the way that this actual DLC released. And it's not even DLC. It's content drops that you should expect in a game that you shouldn't even have to pay for, because this isn't even real DLC.
So they back to
Lucas, I don't know if you feel any different.
Anthem looking real good right now.
No, it's not. Okay, so this is how I feel about it. So basically what had happened is that I was minding my whole ass business as per usual, right? And like I turn on YouTube and what's up guys, Houndish here. You know, my buddy Houndish, he's got a new video. I'm like, oh, okay. New video for the Black Armory, bitch. Let's do this. Rick Cactus uploads. I'm like, okay. So the first thing you want to do is you want to go to the EDZ and pick up and that's when I turned the video off. And I was like, no, I am not doing this. I turned the video back on just to see what was up. And yeah, basically you have to go back to a bunch of places you've been already and grind a bunch of bullshit so you can like even get access to the forge, right? And so I'm looking at that, and then I'm looking and I see that the first encounter 610, and then it's like what, 625, 630, and I'm like, I'm looking at it, and all of my enthusiasm just dissipates. I'm like, you know what? I don't care about this. So I go in the game, I go and get my breakneck because I've been grinding for that, and then I play a couple of strikes with Taz because he wants me to play with him or whatever. And then I just, I think about my life choices and like why I play this game, and maybe I'll have to quit or whatever because it's like some bullshit. And I'm just like, all right, I don't really care. Like, it's Bungie, it's Destiny, whatever. Like, I'm not really surprised that they did this. I'm not upset. I'm not angry. I'm just apathetic because I'm used to their bullshit at this point. Wow. But I'm dead inside. And, they actually came out and they said that they were lowering the light level requirement by 5 for each stage. I was like, okay, well, that's a nice start. Like, I could do the first encounter now. I'm 604, and if they lowered it, it'd be 605. So I could do the first encounter, but I don't know. This kind of left a bad taste in my mouth, I guess you could say, because I don't have any interest in doing it. Like, I mean, fucking playing Gambit and shit, So.
Wow.
So let me add a little more context to that. I did beat this encounter. I did it today. Literally, it finally happened before this podcast started, like 20 minutes before it happened. In order for me to do that, I had to literally go on a character and grind all my powerful engrams for a whole day and a half just to get 10 light level to beat it. Because I'm at my warlock right now is at 611. And that's close enough to the Delta skill to beat it. So it was still hard as hell. But can you imagine somebody that's 604, 605? Yeah, like Lucas said, the first encounter is not that hard to get through. But the second one, they throw so much stuff at you. And then that boss has so much health. And guess what? everybody that's beat this, and I don't care who they said, nobody's beat this the correct way. People are hiding in corners with Whisper of the Worm and shooting bosses from the side of a rock. So guess what? If you don't have a Whisper of Worm, don't expect to beat this forge this week. You might have to wait until the weekend to get your Whisper in order to beat content that's supposed to be accessible to everybody day one. I didn't beat it to the second day. I didn't beat it to the second day.
Like, you can go to it, you just can't beat it. That's all.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Oh, one of my friends on Twitter, he said, I said the same thing. I said, oh yeah, you can play it, but guess what? It's not fun. Who likes to lose constantly and get their head beat over like it's a raid? It's not a raid.
Yeah, like when I saw the power level requirements, I was like, I could do this. Like I could get a group together and we could like pound our heads against it. But then I was like, I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm not going to do it. Like, I've already exhausted myself trying to get this fucking gun. I got it, by the way, the breakneck.
Fucking
awesome.
awesome.
I'm not doing any. I don't.
I have a question, and it's I'm not trolling or anything. It's a legit question.
This is your time to do it, sir.
No, I would never kick you guys while you're down. I would.
Yeah, I'm about to, so that's fine. I'll take care of that part. I'll do that.
Well, let me ask my question real quick. Then Lord Saw, please take the mic. Which one of the dev teams worked on this DLC? Was it Bungie or was these other two smaller studios that have been helping them?
The pass was being worked on by Bungie because the two creative directors are the ones that did the Taken King DLC.
Okay, so Bungie did this one.
Bungie's did this.
Wow. Maybe they should move on to that new IP and leave this
DLC lets me know that Bungie is literally moving on from this game. Because I don't think
they don't have anyone that's working on it. It looks like they got like a skeleton crew working on this, and while the bulk of their people are working on their new stuff.
They need that Rockstar crunch.
Here we go. So please,
Soft, go fire away.
He's just laughing.
Hey, you gotta excuse me for reveling in your misery, but Puerto Ricans want to make a point, and they know they're in the right. They say, "Toma." You want to grind, right? Toma, take it. This is what you asked for. They're giving you what you asked for to the umpteenth power, and y'all mad about it. I don't understand.
Oh, really?
I don't understand a Destiny player. I don't understand the Destiny. I get it that they sold you something that you can't play because you're not ready for it. But this is what happens when the Destiny community they don't stick around, right? They play and they move away from it when something happens that they don't like. And then it takes a whole big DLC to bring everybody back. And then for whatever reason, there's this constant flow where it's whatever small, tiny details that they change can like uproot the entire freaking game. And then I'm not going to say none of y'all, because a lot of you stick around, but there's no loyalty there. You guys are gone. Like, and for me, the way I see it is like, after this, there's going to be a substantial amount of people that walk away from this game. And for me, it's just like they're giving you exactly what you want. Yeah, they messed up in terms of letting you guys off the rip jump into this stuff and be able to play it, because obviously you want to play something brand new that they're giving you. But I don't know, man. I think Destiny players are just more fickle than the rest of us. And that's saying something.
So you don't play that? You don't play Destiny?
No, man. I am the Iron Lord. Does not play Destiny.
I wonder what the rest of the
if you don't play Destiny, then you don't.
Oh, I have. No, I'm not saying it from a point of no experience. I have played Destiny.
Did you play Destiny too?
Oh yeah.
Where did you get? What light level did you get up to?
5 something.
All right.
So nah, I'm not about it.
So you never got to end game?
No.
Okay. So since you're not at endgame, you don't understand the differences between this grind and the grind that we've been doing in Forsaken. It's different.
No, I've played some Forsaken. I understand how things have changed.
No, I'm talking about the Black Armory. I'm talking about the Black Armory.
I haven't touched the Black. I don't intend on touching the Black Armory, but grind is grind.
It's actually not the same though. Like no, it's not the same. I've been grinding in games, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, all that stuff. There's difference.
So did they change? Did they change how you fundamentally, like how you improve weapons? Like, they changed all of that completely?
Oh no. So this is what they did, right? So when you were grinding in Forsaken, the grind wasn't difficult, right? They gave you noticeable boost every time you'd get a powerful drop. But for Black Armory, the drops are like 602, 603 when you're 600. And so even if you have 603 or 602, even if you have 1 or 2 pieces of armor or weapons, like you're not going to jump up a lot, right? So I have like a 610 chest piece and I'm at 603. So like they've lowered the amount that you go up from powerful drops after you hit 600, which is something I noticed right away. Mm-hmm. Like grinding isn't an issue for me, and I don't think it's an issue for anyone else either who actually plays the game. It's the fact that the grind it hasn't changed, but the reward that you get from it has changed. You get less of a boost. So that's probably what people are having an issue with. Because if it's just like, oh, I just have to grind to 610, 620, 625, 630, whatever, I'll grind. Like when I found out that we would have to grind, I was like, okay, I'll just go grind. I went in and I saw that it barely dropped any, like you barely went up after the drop. And I was like, okay, so this is what they're doing. And that's why I was just like, all right, I'll just touch the Black Armory another time. So not a big deal. I didn't play Destiny. I'm not done. I didn't play Destiny 1. Like I played it for 5-10 minutes. So I was like, all right, whatever. I played Destiny 2 for a bit. It was cool. I got the DLC for free, so they didn't rip me off there. And I put a lot of hours into it initially. And I was like, all right, cool. I'm done with this game for now because the DLC is garbage. Thank God I didn't pay for it. And then I got Forsaken for free because that's what I do. And I've been having a lot of fun with it. It's been very enjoyable. I understand a lot of people have a lot of issues with Destiny. I get it. I completely understand that. But it's just kind of like, if people are just having fun with a game or playing a game, you mocking them for it is kind of shitty. But that's just my opinion about it.
Oh no! Listen. This is all in good fun because I'm the only Iron Lord. The Iron Lords were built on Destiny. I was dragged into the Destiny community, and I wanted nothing to do with it at all. So it's mocking in a fun way. You guys, I've always said you guys are a special kind of crazy. Same with COD players. You guys are special kind of crazy because I personally don't get that, but hey, whatever floats your boat, enjoy it. my issue with people and the grind is that every time they make a change to the game, that's what's changed, the grind, right? So if you're telling me now the grind has changed to the point that you're grinding, you're not seeing substantial improvement. Have they done this before in the grind?
No.
Like I said, I don't know. I didn't play Destiny like that. So I'm like this, this Destiny players come back to this and they deal with this and complain about that's not me. So I don't know,
So
okay, so anybody else on the panel played Destiny 1?
No, so I played
Destiny 1.
I played
pretty much like
this.
They dropped the new DLC.
So I have over 5,000 hours on Destiny 1. I have close to 3,000 hours on Destiny 2. I'm one of those people that never left the game. I've always been here. Hence the reason my backlog is so ridiculous right now because everything gets put on the back for Destiny. Luca's right about what she's saying, but I think it's a little bit more like when it comes to the hardcore players, I think it's something different. I think the fact that every DLC, and we all knew that there was no story content. They pretty much said there was no story content in this game. So we kind of already expected that. They said they're not doing that. Yeah, they said they said DLC going forward, they are not focusing on story content. Those will be saved for the major expansions that they release every September, which everybody already knew. So that's not a problem. The problem is first of all, I have no problem with redoing content. That's all Destiny is repeat content over and over and over again. That's no problem with that at all. But the problem with this is the first time they've released the DLC where you instantly didn't get into what the DLC was. It was like you go into this DLC and then you're turned around to do everything that you were doing for the last 6 months. Nothing's changed. It's like you don't buy something brand new to have people experience the same thing. There was nothing new. I literally on my first day of playing this DLC didn't do one thing that had anything to do, with the exception of trying to do it Forge and failing at it for over an hour and a half before I said, you know what, I got to go run milestones for the next day to get all the stuff I need to do it. But for the first day, I pretty much didn't touch anything of this DLC. And that's why everybody on Twitter, that's why you see all of these Destiny YouTubers talking about it, because that right there is baffling to us. Like, you're giving us a DLC that you're giving us something that's not even there for us to play day one.
So is it them expecting that you guys should have grinded more? Like
you can't grind more.
You can't. So me. Okay, so I'm 600 on my Titan and my Hunter, and like 598 on my Warlock, right? So the light level cap was 600. Honestly, it's kind of ridiculous that they would expect you to be able to go into this content when the cap is 600 and the first encounter is 610.
Jesus.
That
makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
It seems to me like they were, and I think you guys said that the next content drop isn't until like at the earliest February, that they were trying to make this like the grind for this even more of a grind to kind of like stretch it out so that people would still be doing this, for a little bit longer, and then the distance between this DLC and the next one wouldn't be so long. But it seems like they went a really bad way, towards getting that done. Because
I think that I agree with you. I think that their approach backfired, because all this did was make people, certain people be like, "No, I'm not doing that."
I mean, Luca, I don't even want to go back to this now.
Like, I mean, honestly, like, you shouldn't.
Like, that's like one of the complaints I heard. Like, people who haven't played, like in previous.
I can't even imagine what it's like for people who are 550 and under. I'm like, good luck to y'all. Like,
the one thing they did is they unlocked it, because at first there was the soft cap at 550. So now you can just level up like it was normal, and you all the way up to 600. Then the new soft cap is 600. Then you have to grind up from there. But what you said, Slow-Mo, is kind of right, with the exception that on Friday the raid is releasing. So, and the raid is a recommended power of 640.
Oh my god!
So to say that they don't expect people to be at 640 now there's people that I know. Grenader Jake is one of them. He's at 629. He was at 629 this morning.
Yeah, Sweatico is like at 626.
You know why these people are so Grenader Jake is so high because he held Iron Banner bounties from 3 weeks or 2 weeks ago. He kept all his bounties, and those were all powerful gear drops. So he was like, I'm just gonna hold on to these because there's no reason for me to turn them in, because there's nothing I need. They may help me in the new expansion. And guess what? They gave him noticeable light gain jumps because he held on to those. And then the rest of the community, if you don't have three, put it this way, Luca only did one character. You said you're at what, 604, 605?
604.
So if you don't have 3 characters to do the whole play all the content on one character, move all your weapons to the next character, play all the content on that character, move your stuff to the next character. Because that's how you progressively get one character strong enough to be able to make it to do the raid on Friday. If you're not one of those people that does that or even has 3 characters, you're going to be a person that's in the 604, 605s. You're going to get like 5 light every week until you actually are able to do the content, which puts some people not even seeing or beating the Forge until at the earliest next week or the week after.
Yeah.
Yeah, but but that kind of goes to me like you're dragging it out. Like they really don't expect most people to be ready to do the raid when the raid comes out. They don't want you doing the raid until like January or something like that.
So Slow-Mo, you love the Division. If the Division gave you a brand new DLC and you couldn't even engage with any other content, how would you feel?
Hey, Forte, I'm not defending.
He's not defending Bungie, he's not like taking shots either. He's making a point.
So, what do you think the point is? What do you think their thinking is with this?
Slow-Mo's right.
Yeah, I think they just want to stretch this out into the next content drop, like in early next year. That's why they raised everything so high, so that you would have to grind even harder. Even though you got guys like Forte that play it all day long, most people aren't playing it the way Forte's playing it, and it's going to take them longer to get there. So by the time some other guy who plays, they play Destiny, but they don't take off on when the content comes out. By the time he's ready to do the raid, it's January, and then in February would be next content drop. That's why I think their mentality is on it. I don't agree with it because I don't think you should ever drop content with the intention of it not being fun. You should never do that.
I just don't understand. Like they had so much goodwill coming out of Forsaken. Like, why would you?
My thing with Bungie, and this is something I've noticed, is that they fuck up and then they do something good, and then they fuck up and then they do something good, which is why I don't pay for things in Destiny typically. So I just get it.
So,
it's like I wouldn't be surprised if Destiny 3 is a disaster, which is why I'm not getting it day one. I'm gonna wait and see what they actually plan on doing with it. You know what I mean? Especially based off the rest of the DLCs that are gonna come out.
Let me ask you guys something real quick. And this is just, and look, I haven't put in 5,003 hours or 3,000 hours like you, Forte, but I've dibbled and dabbled Destiny 1, Destiny 2, and Luca brought up a great point. Like they do this thing where like they fuck up and then they drop something like Forsaken. We're like, yeah, this is great. Like this is what we wanted. And then they do this and we're like, oh shit, like what's going on? Like none of this makes sense. I mean, I don't want to say that Destiny is a failed experiment. But is this something maybe Bungie should just move on? And
Bungie is moving on.
Oh, they already moved. They're moving on. That's already in process.
They were being shitty before, like even before November, man. Like they dropped Forsaken, and then like a few weeks later, like all of a sudden Forsaken was like super slashed, for like newcomers, and then to appease the people who had already paid all the money for it, it's like, here's some shaders.
Yeah.
And then when you're vocal about it, the Destiny community is like, "Oh, you should shut up, bitch. You shouldn't. Why are you feeling like?"
Well, that's not just the Destiny community; it's every single community that.
Well, no, it is. Then you missed that. We talked about that part before you came on, but the fact is, it's the same thing I was saying earlier. People can't say, "Hey, you know what? I don't agree, but I rock with you on that." That's true. Like you feel that way.
Yeah.
As a gamer, that's cool. I get that. I'll back you on that. No, you got. Well, you shouldn't feel entitled to anything. Oh yeah, I should feel entitled because I just dropped all this money on Forsaken, and like a few weeks later, not even months later, a few weeks later. Yep. All the prices have been slashed.
Yeah, the shaders thing wasn't cool.
I really think it depends. Based off like, for me, if I buy something, I don't feel angry or upset about it. If like later it's slashed, I'm not talking about Destiny. I just mean like in general, because I don't buy anything unless it's like I'm 100% sure that it's like, okay, I'm going to buy this. I'm going to buy it. And if anything happens, if there's a sale or anything, I'm just going to eat it because you're buying things to have it first. You know what I mean? So it's like, even though the game went on sale a few weeks later, I was at like what 540, 550, and those people were at 300. So they would have to grind all that way while I was already up, you know? So it was like, all right, like you buy things to experience it first. And honestly, it's fucking Bungie, man, and Activision. They're fucking shitty, which is why I'm not.
That's exactly it. It's like I wasn't surprised. Right. No, I wasn't
not surprised
about what they
did.
I'm just like, wow, you know.
I'm not surprised. I'm not upset. And you know, if any gamers wants to like have an issue with it or, you know, really want to rally against it, I'm always going to side with the gamers. But me personally, it's just like, well, they fucked me again. Whatever.
I think got me again, sons of bitches.
Do you guys think this kind of opens the door for BioWare and Anthem?
No.
Why not?
Because
Anthem's gonna be garbage.
No PvP, no PvP, and Destiny has a. As much as people hate to admit it, Destiny has a loyal fan base that will continually always come back to this game no matter what.
Yeah, it's so like even though, you know, they fucked up again, which whatever. I'm still not interested in Anthem. I don't play BioWare games to play a fucking looter shooter. Sorry, I just don't do that. So unless it blows, I have zero interest in it, you know? If you're I'm sorry, what?
What if it's a better looter shooter though? What if they do improve the formula?
Yeah, that's why I said unless they blow me away. But typically I don't buy BioWare games to, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, this is the first time even doing it. Like,
absolutely. It's their first time doing it. And you know, if it's anyone's first foray into anything, it's gonna be an interesting time. I mean, personally, you know, am addicted to Destiny, so it's like crack. You know, it's like Crackstony. It's like that thing. Yeah. But like excluding me, I'm sure I play the game all the time, but there are people who are more hardcore about it than I am. Because there's certain activities and events, and I look at the requirements, I'm just like, I'm not doing that. And I go and do something else. But then like someone like Forte would be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna go grind and do this and do that and stuff. And I think that their biggest issue is that they always seem to fuck up with the hardcore. You know what I mean? Because they keep trying to initially appeal to everyone, and then they screw that up and they make the grind too easy. Yeah. And then now it's this, and it's like, okay, we're gonna substantially just what's the word? Like just choke you out, you know, just choke you out, substantially choke you out. And even if you do play this game hardcore, it's gonna take you a long time to get up to it, unless you were smart, like some of the fucking people who do like the raids first and do the fucking completions first. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna hold on to this. You okay? Like I was watching Sweatico's video on how to like fucking level, and I was like, okay, that's what he did. I'm not doing that. You know, I'm not doing that. I'm just
and I was telling Luca over the last Luca no, because I was doing it. I made it. The only reason I made it to 610 on one character is because I did all that stuff.
Yeah. I'm not doing that stuff. It's honestly like I said, I have a lot of fun with Destiny, but I also have a social life. So
that does take it away. But so overall, the DLC is for me. I understand. I see where they're going with it. I don't think it's a failed DLC because it's too early to say that. We still have to see the other 3 or 4 pieces.
We haven't even experienced
it. Yeah, we haven't even experienced it. So they're bringing back
like fucking lit, but we wouldn't know because we can't access it.
Right. So once you beat the first forge, it does open up, and you do get bounties to be able to go hunt for new weapons and new gear. But you have to beat that first foundry to actually get access to it. And I can see what the grind is going to be. It's going to be random rolls on these new weapons that everybody's going to want. And you're going to be doing that on a bi-weekly basis because every other week is going to be something new. And people, especially the hardcore, that's what they want. They want that type of grind. I just think overall, it's just not conducive to your hardcore player base to lock them out of something brand new day one. Like that's the problem. I mean, you know, they I think they overestimated on this one. They know hardcore people want that hardcore grind, but hardcore people still do. We're just like every other gamer. We want to enjoy new stuff first. And then guess what? If we want to grind up to get raid ready within 3 days, we know how to do it. We know we got to go back and engage with that old content to do that because we know the new content isn't going to be enough to get us there. But at least give us an option to play what's new first and then pivot in the direction we want to go in. And that's hugely where they missed that on this.
You know, I think that's another reason why I am pretty apathetic about this is because when Forsaken came out, I didn't even play the campaign. I was doing all the I was doing the regular stuff, the dailies, and just getting my light level up. So I wasn't even focused on like the new stuff like that. You know what I mean? So that's probably why I'm like, whatever, I'll just do what I typically do. But I can definitely see like it's definitely understandable why people are upset, you know.
Yeah. Hey, a big shout out to everyone in the live chat, by the way. Xbot448 to the live chat.
Wait. Hey, where did you get that Queensbreaker? Like, where did it drop for you, the Queensbreaker? First of all, fuck you. Okay. I was literally telling you yesterday that I want that goddamn gun. But where did it drop for? Can someone read it to me whenever he answers and stuff?
Yeah, I'll let you know when he answers.
Thank you.
Yeah, he posted a picture of that one that looks pretty hot. So I mean, you never know. Maybe this thing improves. Maybe they tweak things, but we'll see. They've
already tweaked things.
Yeah, they already said they're going to tweak things. And guess what? It is going to improve because right now the only problem is the fact that it's in SS. It's the accessibility to it is or beating it is like very far away for a lot of people and. Yeah. Once people level up in light, you'll be fine. Yeah. But that's not the problem right now.
Look at Xbox 448 says Crucible.
Okay, it's been different places for everyone.
Yeah. It's not a
So I know. My thing is that I think that I don't remember what I was going to say because I got distracted about the fucking bow. Gun. Never mind.
Hey man, Queensbreaker Road will make you mad as hell when you see other people getting.
Yeah, I'm really upset right now. To be perfectly honest.
Well,
but
Luca.
What do you have to say?
I would say, well, Luca has been on. She's been really hating the game for like the last week. Like she's starting to get that love-hate relationship with it. She got all the great things in the very first month of the DLC, and now that the game has completely said "F you" for the last 5
years. You know, honestly, it's like this is why I think it's like a drug addiction.
Look at leave for 2 weeks,
but you know, not that extreme, right? Is that like every time I would get so annoyed with the game, it would give me something. And I was just like, okay, bitch, you heard me whining, but now they're like, so we already got you, bitch.
You got to leave for 2 weeks and then come back.
Did you see, Luca? Did you see that it's kind of common that everybody in Forsaken at least 1 day since the DLC's been out has gotten anywhere from 3 to 4 exotics to drop in 1 day?
Yeah, I saw Mtash's video about it. I was like, oh, okay. That's
because I got 4 to drop since I got 4 to drop for me yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, nothing that I already didn't have, but it's the fact that 4 dropped in 1 day, and I don't even think I got 4 to drop in a week before at one time.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I think you're lucky I'm not like hardhead because I would have had the same reaction he did when you were showing him his fucking what were those things called? Enhancement cores.
My enhancements, my 152 enhancement cores.
I hate you as well. So fuck you and fuck Xbot.
No, it wasn't enhancement cores. It was the legendary shards that he spent all his legendary shards, and I had over 3,000, and he was like,
so amazing, yeah.
All right, guys, we're gonna move on from Destiny on something else.
Yes, move on from that dumpster fire for the time.
No, but no, seriously, guys, I appreciate the insight and feedback because I've been reading some of the complaints, and so I definitely appreciate the insight. Let's move on to Microsoft potentially buying another developer.
You guys have a nice night about this.
Lucas, I don't deal with speculation.
I don't talk about speculation.
Yeah, no, so
stay.
Yeah, don't leave, Luca. Unless you want to go back and play Destiny too and try to get that Queenbreaker or whatever it's called.
No, my opinion here is not welcome. You know, everyone is always just so mean to me. So rude, just interrupting me, hating me, just hating me. You know.
Oh my god!
See, Slow-Mo, if you actually took your place as the man of the house and be the top son of the family, you can deflect some of that blame she be getting.
What is?
Oh my god! All right, so
hey, we can't fight these fights by ourselves, Slow-Mo. You gotta pitch in every once in a while.
Slow-Mo.
Hey, Enrique, let's get back on topic. Man.
Yeah, so there's another rumor Microsoft potentially buying a developer that's done a lot of work with Sony, and we've kind of tossed out some ideas in DM. I think Slow-Mo, I think you said Quantic Dream is who you thought, or
nah, not anymore. I think it's I've been seeing a lot of things that people have been putting out there and some information about it's for example, Microsoft has bought devs that have been working on other games for other publishers, but they've all been multi-plats.
Yeah,
a Sony dev that's working on exclusive Sony content. I can't see Microsoft buying a dev where they couldn't get out of a contract for a game, and like Microsoft owns a dev that's making a game for the competition and only for the competition. Like I couldn't see them doing that. So the only one that I know of that isn't making a game that I've heard of right now for Sony is House Marquee. So that's the only. Yeah, so I think that's it now. Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing too.
I think, I mean, Housemarque, they've moved away from doing the twin stick shooters. They've realized it hasn't been lucrative for them, and they, at this point, they're sort of, and they're a talented development studio, so they can do a number of different things. So I think at this point, they're the ones that don't seem like have anything on the table right now, and they could possibly do any number of different things that sort of pivots them from what they're known for. And I think some of their stock with Sony has sort of fallen just because the last few games haven't sold as well, haven't necessarily been as well received as maybe like a Resogun and stuff like that. So I think they're ideal for this.
But isn't Housemarque, aren't they working on like a battle arena game? I thought they showed something at E3, or am I making that up?
That I don't recall, to be honest.
I thought they were like, so I know they talked about like moving away from the from like games like Resogun, and I forget what the last game they came out with that was sort of in that same vein genre. I could have sworn they're coming out with a battle arena game that takes place in the future, and I thought that's kind of like a multiplayer game. I thought that was the route they were going.
Yeah, but I mean, do you know if that's exclusive to Sony or anything? I
actually don't think. No, I don't think that's an exclusive game. I think it's just something they were working.
They made exclusive games for Sony before, though.
Yeah, they have. But I think like it just makes the most sense to me. Quantic Dream, I haven't heard about them already in development for another Sony exclusive, but they're not like the way Clobril worded it. They're not as small. They're not small enough to be the kind of dev that he's talking about. They're like at least 180 devs. So that's a AAA developer at that point, and that's not what he was talking about. So
did you say small to medium though in that post?
Yeah, but 180 isn't medium. Like in Exile is a medium size. In Exile it was a medium size dev before they got purchased. They were like 90 people.
Guys, real quick, the game that Housemarque's working on is called Storm Divers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a battle royale type game.
Yeah. And so that's a multiplayer centric experience focused on team. Yeah, so that's a multiplayer game that they're working on.
Oh, see, and that makes sense because they've purchased devs who are still working on multiplats. Like Obsidian's probably going to show theirs tomorrow, and and they're fine with that because they can get that out the way. They told them, hey, continue your obligations. Anything you promised, go ahead and finish that stuff, but everything that is unannounced, you're still working on, all that's going to be PC and Xbox going forward. And so, like, if the Housemarque is, if that's what they're doing, then that works. That makes sense, because Supermassive Games has already come out and said they're making multiple PS4 exclusives in development right now. We already know Insomniac's probably doing Spider-Man 2 at this moment.
Yeah.
No one else really that isn't owned by Sony is, I mean, even Ready at Dawn is they're working on a Sony exclusive for PS5. So there's just really no one else really that it could be that I could think of, unless they really would purchase a dev that's going to still put out a PS5 exclusive. That would just be weird.
I mean, they do want their games everywhere, dude.
Yeah, but I mean,
but not on PS5.
Yeah, not on PS5.
We're not ready for that.
Hey,
Yeah.
why
PS5,
not?
but
Why
not
not?
Xbox.
Why not?
Why not? Because you're not making any money on the platforms that you're pushing.
Yeah, but we're talking about. Okay, so
at no point have they ever done anything like that before.
I mean, at no point has Microsoft went out and bought this many studios at one time.
Yeah, but none of them that they've purchased have made content for their competition and not them.
Hey, B, hold on real quick, guys. B, I want to get your thoughts on this real quick. Could you see something like that happen, man?
No, not at all. That's just not how Microsoft's going to move. Not now and not ever, I don't think. They're going to try to keep everything on their platform for as long as they can. And until Satya Nadella is just like, you know what, we're going to treat Xbox just like we treat Windows and put it on every platform, then that's when you'll see games release on multiple platforms like PlayStation and Nintendo and stuff like that. But until then, the only game you're going to see like that is Minecraft.
Yeah, I think if xCloud proves to be successful, like really, really successful, then yeah, you can probably start thinking about, you know, Microsoft more as a complete platform, and stop thinking about it as a console, or Xbox, should I say, as a console. But I think xCloud is the key there to get, you know, sort of permeate markets where they're not really successful.
So, Saab, you're saying if it's successful, you could see a day, maybe envision a day.
Oh, absolutely. I think
on PlayStation.
They're already talking about how they don't consider PlayStation direct competition. They consider that the way that they're doing things just sort of puts them in a different space than PlayStation. I mean, and a lot of that's PR speak, obviously.
Yeah,
it's easy to say that. It's easy to say that when you're losing, right? Like, you need to find, oh yeah, we consider ourselves to be different. We're not necessarily playing in the exact same space anymore. But I do think that that is their ultimate goal, to sort of, you know, be everywhere. And
even with xCloud, it's still a Microsoft platform. So it's like you still have to go through Microsoft to purchase the games. There'll never be a day when you go into a PlayStation store and there'll be a Microsoft game there.
No, unless they just get out of the first party business. You know.
Yeah, and I don't even think Sony, even if Microsoft was willing to do that, like have an app on a PlayStation platform where you could play Xbox games, Sony's not going to allow that. So it's kind of a moot point. I don't think it's ever going to, like, I don't think Microsoft is ever going to go there, and I don't think Sony is ever going to allow it to go there, and vice versa. Like, I don't think Microsoft will ever let Sony put PS Now on an Xbox or anything like that. So, I completely forgot the other point I was about to make.
Shocker.
I just think Quantum Dream is more of a possibility since they don't have a game actively in development for Sony.
Forte, you think they would pick up Quantum Dream even with some of the bad press recently, and with some of the internal issues, I guess, if you want to call that, at Quantum Dream?
I mean, when it comes to stuff like, I mean,
racism, sexual harassment, stuff like that.
I mean, they're going to do their due diligence or something like that, but let's just say they come back and come to the realization that that was like an isolated incident within the company, and and it's been already dealt with. I just think they're looking in the vein of trying to make story narrative driven games, because Phil is starting to double back on when he said that it's a little bit too expensive to make single player only games. I think this would be a key move if they introduce. He said that how long ago? What was that?
Yeah, he said what he said was that it was, you know, the method in the method that they use to make them now is just way too expensive. There's no way to monetize it in a way where you're constantly getting money from it. And that's where the whole Game Pass conversation came in, about making stuff episodic and doing things like that to sort of break up the costs. But I don't, you know, I think obviously a Quantum Dream game would fit into that nicely, right? I've always felt that, like, the failings of sort of the Telltale style of game and not evolving kind of point to what Quantic Dream is doing, right? Making these sort of more immersive worlds, making your choices actually really matter and not sort of be diversions on a singular line that's always going to take you to the same ending, right? So I think Quantic Dream is sort of moved forward in sort of kind of expanding on that formula, and it would be great for Game Pass. Like, give me episodic content.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking.
That would be great.
That's a great point, Tav. Yeah,
and there is that talk that that Microsoft was talking to two devs. One was a bigger dev, and one was kind of the size of these other developers they've been talking to, like NXile and Obsidian, like their size. I mean, there is a possibility it could be Quantic Dream. I just kind of, I don't know. I just
don't see Sony just letting them walk out the door, basically.
Yeah, I can't see it. I can't see that happening.
That's a public. That company has to look out for itself.
No doubt.
If Microsoft comes to them with I watched Porter Rock's video earlier on, and he actually talked about that, and he said, if Microsoft comes to them with the plan, and Sony doesn't, say, hey, we value the stuff that you've done for us as a platform, and they don't reciprocate that back to them, they gonna look out for themselves.
True, very true.
And that's ultimately what it comes to. And Microsoft wants to make us do. It's all a business, and Microsoft wants to make a splash. Now, you're not going to steal Naughty Dog or anything because that's owned by Sony. Yeah. But what if you can steal like one of these other games or these other franchises away from them, and strengthen your own portfolio by making someone else's weaker? I mean, we all know Microsoft wants to win, and they're going for the next generation. So I just don't see something. Housemarque is actually a good one. But I just think Quantic Dreams, with them not having nothing in active development that we know of from Sony, would be the call that I would make.
I think Blue Point is, from what I heard, Blue Point's hasn't announced anything either. So Blue Point's also a possibility.
Right. Well, Blue Point is making remasters and stuff too, though.
Yeah. What did you say, Saul? Blue Point's making something?
I mean, they're making something. There's been no word as to whether it's based on a Sony property.
Gotcha.
Okay. Third party. So if it is, I know they specifically said like they're working on something that's bigger than Shadow of the Colossus, but not super huge. So, that could be any number of different things, but there's no guarantee that that's a Sony thing. So if it is with some other third party, chances are Microsoft cannot dip their hands into that at this point, right? It would have to be after that game releases. So that's why I don't think they're sort of in the running.
Supermassive, though. I just think that Sony's been rocking with Quantic Dream for such a long time, and they've continued to put their games in packages and remaster them and things like that. Put them on PS4. They just announced that they're putting all 3 games in a package. Like, I think they really recognize what Detroit brought to the platform and kind of the advancement that Quantic Dream has had, in that genre. And I just don't think that they would let them walk away.
Yeah. What about Supermassive, though? Because Supermassive is sort of in that vein. And to be honest, I think with that same Quantic Dream formula, I think Supermassive is taking even a step beyond. Like, I think
I said the same thing. I think the one thing that would probably hold Supermassive off the platform is the fact that they want to dabble in VR. And unless the next platform has some sort of VR device, with it on Scarlet or whatever the case may be, then I think that's the one thing that kind of, makes them second guess if they would come to the platform or not. Because they have taken the risk. Like, if you look at the stuff that Supermassive has put out, they put out like 6 games.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like VR content, Until Dawn, things like that. So they've really been on their grind putting out games. And I think the one reason why they rock with Sony is because they have the most popular VR platform, and they've been able to release games there at a consistent basis.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, B. Supermassive kind of seems like a better quality and better managed Telltale. Because Telltale would drop so many games, making so many games all at once, but they were managed poorly and they were always licensing.
Yeah, I was gonna say that pay for the expensive license. Yeah,
but Supermassive comes up with original content, and they've done like 2 or 3 VR games for the PS4. They got Until Dawn, which is personally one of my favorite game on PS4 this generation.
And Man of Dawn looks good.
Man of Dawn looks good. That's coming out next year, and that's multi-plat. And they've already said they're working on 2 PS5 games that are VR and another game that people think is Until Dawn 2. So it's just like, man, I mean, like they're really rolling and putting the content out. And now me personally, actually, I missed the game because they came out last year with Hidden Agenda. What I am a little concerned with Supermassive is they may be stretching themselves too thin, because I don't think Hidden Agenda was very good. I thought it was okay, but it needed some polish. It needed a little bit more time. And
wasn't Hidden Agenda like that was tied to like the whole phone thing that they're trying to promote?
Yeah, and I think that wasn't a good move to make, because it seemed like they took all the feedback from Until Dawn. They kept seeing all these streams on YouTube and Twitch of people coming together and all like everyone yelling at each other about which decision to make in Until Dawn, and someone makes the decision and someone ends up dead, and everybody's like, oh, why you do that? And so it seemed like they said, hey, let's come up with a way where everyone's input is useful, and it's like a voting process on some of those decisions within the game. And I mean, it kind of works, but when your entire game is kind of built around that, and it seems like so many other parts of it weren't fleshed out, and again, like missing the polish. Like there was a lot of little like clipping and bugs, and even though the mocap was good and the acting was good, it's just the story just didn't seem to be. It wasn't on the level of Until Dawn at all. And plus, I couldn't find anybody else to play it with. So I'm like, I'm doing it by myself. It's not as fun by yourself when the game is built around playing with other people. So like I think that's something like they keep coming out with all these kind of content, and they did the Impatient, which has gotten kind of mixed content, mixed. Isn't
that the prequel to?
It's the prequel to Until Dawn, and it's a good story, but I think the implementation of it in the VR, like I will watch people stream it on Twitch, and you can just really kind of see like the streamers not trying to show their frustration with it, but they're like kind of frustrated with trying to pick stuff up and not picking up correctly, or something bad happening that they didn't mean to happen, but the controls were so janky they didn't mean to do something that they did. And those are kind of little things that I kind of hope Supermassive works on, because those are some of the drawbacks that people had with Telltale. Was like they stretched themselves too thin. Some of their episodes will come out and it didn't have enough time, and I don't want to see that from them. I really like Supermassive,
and I think with Supermassive, kind of dipping their toe and on all those different things, that would probably be a benefit to Sony. Especially if they're looking to improve the VR. You go to one of your devs who've put out, multiple content pieces in the VR space and ask them, how should we improve this? What do we need to implement to make a better experience? And since they've released a couple games in VR, you would think that they would be reaching out to Supermassive and trying to make improvements in that space.
Do you guys think that so with Microsoft being in the process of negotiating with one of these devs, if things don't fall through and they actually complete this purchase, like, do you think this would kind of be a red flag to Sony, and they may start trying to like purchase whoever didn't get whoever this isn't? So like, say if it's not Quantic Dream, they might, or Supermassive, they may want to actually scoop them up, kind of protect them from losing them, because that's something that Microsoft ended up doing last gen. I mean, not doing last gen, which caused the problem with Bungie, and well, not necessarily Bungie because they owned them already, and that was different. But with BioWare, they should have purchased BioWare to keep that from going to EA, and they didn't. And now, now look at it. So,
I mean, to a certain extent, that possibly could happen. But what I don't want to see, like going in the future, is this big ass buying war of like Sony got to buy like a dev just because Microsoft did, or like Microsoft need to buy another dev, or like THQ bought up like 3 devs this week. Like, what then? Then where the hell is all third party games at? You know what I mean? Then you really you got to own like every platform. You know what I mean? Because what are you gonna be playing? Sports games and fighting games? Because what other game is gonna be multiplat?
Yeah.
Yeah, when it's already kind of like happened that way. It's starting to slide that way. People are starting to like focus more on who's buying who over who's making what game.
Yeah, sure.
You know?
That's a good point. I mean, I don't think the consumers benefit from a buying war like that. Like B says, potentially what happens to, Sam. And actually, this is a good point. Sam brought up buying wars right here. Google and Amazon are coming, and everyone knows it. That's it's funny. Like, we don't talk about Amazon and Google, but behind the scenes, they're creeping. They're there. I mean, they're making moves to get into the industry. But it's funny, we don't talk about them a lot.
Because I mean,
Amazon making moves.
Yeah, they're making moves.
Yeah, they're making moves. They're raising the price of Prime to pay for these games.
I mean, with Google and their streaming service, I've been playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and it's good. I mean, it's not the most ideal way to play that game, but it's definitely leaps and bounds better than what I've experienced in PS Now and when I had on live back in the day. Obviously, I mean, that was like a soupy mess. Like, this works. So it's not, and if somebody with the reach of Google can get something like that to work, and to get studios behind them and actually, let people access their games in that fashion, in some sort of subscription model, yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting, because as we saw a while back with, all these numbers about, which subscription services are winning and stuff like that. Yeah, a lot of people were surprised to see PS Now beating out Game Pass, beating out EA Access. And the truth of it is that a lot of times we think about these services in terms of us only, right? Do I care about it, right? But you don't necessarily think about how many other people have a use for it, and for whom that may be the only way they have access to these things. So if this stuff is good enough where it's ubiquitous and the hardcore gamer can actually get some enjoyment out of it, it's going to be really interesting, what Amazon and Google, what kind of dent they make in the market. It's going to be really interesting to see.
Yeah, and also I think both of them are looking at the gaming industry in two different ways. I think more for Google, they're just going to offer a platform. Right. I don't see them coming in, buying up devs, making exclusive content, anything like that. I think if anything, they're going to use their Google streaming platform to offer content at a lower rate. A subscription-based model, and you can access all the best games. You don't have to have this souped-up, powerful PC. You can run it on whatever laptop you got, and as long as your internet connection is good enough, then that's how you access games. I don't see them coming in buying up EA or Activision or any big publisher and putting out their own games. That just doesn't make sense for them. Yeah.
So let me ask you, because you talked about your experience with Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but I mean, considering funny you compared to On Live, that brings back memories. But I guess like if you're comparing it versus console, how does it look? I mean, is it close enough to like where you're like, wow, this could really be a thing, a year from now, 2 years from now, whatever the case is.
Right. The limitations, right, are obviously there, and if you don't have the bandwidth. Like I have 150 megabit connection up and down, so that helps a lot. Anything lower than that, like I try to run it on Wi-Fi. No, it's absolutely not there. That's when it starts looking like On Live. But yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of infrastructure. Once infrastructure can get to the point where internet speeds of that ilk are sort of more readily available across the country, yeah, then definitely I can see it as being a viable option for more than just like the casuals.
5G?
Yeah. And then,
5G downloads are 400 megs or something.
Yeah. So
minimum.
And that's what Microsoft service is banking on, right? That at some point, their data centers all over the place and whatnot, that they're able to limit lag in a way that, with 5G speeds, with, people with, let's say,
excuse me,
normal Ethernet speeds will still be able to enjoy these games in a way that isn't that far removed from what they're doing on their console at home. And I think it's gonna get there, man. But like I said, like for me right now, 150 megabits with the Assassin's Creed, it looks like I'm playing it on a base Xbox One, like a launch Xbox One. Which I mean, it's not so bad, like
Yeah, but still, I mean, I think but that aside, I mean, to be able to do that though is still impressive, considering like many of us been gaming for a long time. And I geek out when I hear this stuff because I grew up the Atari days. That's
I mean, and the thing about it is, like, obviously, like, Assassin's Creed is a game that doesn't need like super perfect input, right? Like you can have some delay, some lag, and it's not necessarily going to affect the experience that much. Like when you can do like a Twitch shooter or something like that, not necessarily multiplayer or anything like that, but something that requires like fast movement, shooting, whatever, that's going to be the real test, right?
Yeah. Interesting. Hey, by the way, Sam says live chat reports from Jason Schreier indicate Google is going to be buying devs and they're aiming to purchase major third-party publishers if necessary. And he says they
better start now because there ain't no devs. There ain't gonna be no devs left in 2019.
Yeah. Microsoft not trying to leave any left for them. Which in some cases I'm fine with. Like take like I read the interview with Fargo from NXL and how he was talking about prior to this he was thinking about retiring because he was just kind of sick of not being able to focus on making his games. He was too busy trying to will and deal and keep the lights on, and he doesn't have to worry about that anymore. Obsidian being close to having to shut down before this happened. Same thing with Ninja Theory. I would much rather, if it comes down to it, that Sony has to go purchase a dev to keep the lights on and keep that dev out there making good games for me. I'm fine with it. I'd much rather that happen than they go out of business. And now they're gone forever, and I won't be able to see potentially another great game coming from them. So I'm fine with
problem with that. Then that's the problem with that, like sort of middle of the road sort of developer where they're one game away from the doors closing at all times. Like they're at peak pressure at all times to make a product that's quality and that sells well. And that's that's got to be tough. I'm not saying they're living check to check, but it's one of those things where it's got to be tough to work under those conditions for years on end.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
But it is almost like living check to check, though. When you're a AA dev, it's almost better to be like a small indie dev where you only have like a dozen people, 2 dozen at the most that you have to worry about because the team is that small, or a big AAA dev where you got a big IP, and that big IP makes you a ton of money over time. But when you're in that mid range, it's just like there's really unless you get bought up like these guys, or you have a big contract with a big publisher that's kind of keeping you fed with monthly checks for the games you're making. It's almost like there's really no space for you.
Yeah. Guys, we're getting towards the end of the podcast here, and we might even get to all the topics, but that's okay. That's okay. The Video Games Awards show's tomorrow. Who's watching it? I know I'm watching it.
I'll be watching it.
I'm watching it, and I'm ready to be disappointed.
What?
Really? Me too.
Come on, guys.
Enrique, every year we do the same thing. Oh, they got all these. Jeff's like, we got all these announcements. It's gonna be hit after hit, bang after bang, and we're like, let's go.
I feel like the 10 new game announcements is gonna be something out of the mobile brand.
Well, there could be some bangers out there. Hey, wait.
All looking for is him to know how to end the show.
Ready to hear about Command
on 3.5 hours last year.
They're gonna tell us about Command and Conquer coming back.
Yeah, there you go, Forte. Well, look, in the show, dog. In the show.
There are rumors. It's funny. Far Cry. There's a Far Cry post-apocalyptic game coming out now. The Ubisoft teased that today, but that's supposed to be at the Game Awards show. But there's rumors. Metroid Prime trilogy. Maybe Metroid Prime 4. Maybe.
Nice.
No one's excited about that.
totally. I mean, I don't know. I'm a lot more optimistic than it seems like the rest of the guys are. I'm thinking, I got to give it to Keeley. Every year it gets a little bit better.
He's trying. Yeah,
he's really trying. He's really trying. And this year, you got Phil up there talking, and like and the fact that besides leaks or whatever, they're actually sort of hinting at stuff that's coming beforehand, which indicates that, okay, if you're telling me Obsidian's going to talk about something, then, there was no reason to hold it back as a big surprise type thing, meaning that you have something bigger in the works. So, I mean, I'm thinking, we might see that WB Batman game they've been talking about, that's rumored, since no Superman is supposedly being shown. I mean, I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. I don't care about the awards whatsoever. I just care about the 10 reveals.
I think that's what most people.
You don't want to see Red Dead get Game of the Year?
I mean, I already know it is. So for me, it's.
I'm tripping on where y'all said it gets better every year.
I know, right?
I'm trying to figure out what show y'all watching.
No, but I don't. I mean, I don't.
Because it was better. It was better than the Joe McHale first year, but it has not been as good as when it was on Spike with Sam Jackson. It has not been that good since then. But last year was too long. Last year they could not stop.
Well, they had the Joe guy last year.
What I mean by that is this: the announcements. The rest of it, like you guys said, I could care less. I don't really care.
Right.
We should care. We should care about the awards, right? But we don't. We care about the announcements.
Besides, you know what it is? It's like so many months go by where people just won't stop talking about these awards. Like they act like they don't care, but then it's like they get in their feelings because it's like, how's this not Game of the Year? And it's like your Game of the Year is whatever you wanted it.
Right. Yeah, no doubt.
Matter what they say there. But we talk about it for so long that by the time you get to the show, you're like, oh, that's right. They are gonna do some awards.
Yeah.
But then he's got Chic Man running around and these bands going on forever.
Yeah, they don't need Chic Man running around on stage. You got to get rid of that corny stuff.
Yeah.
The only award that I kind of sort of really care about is the the award for like most innovative game or something like that. The one that A Way Out is nominated for, because if A Way Out wins, that guy is going
to you want him to win just so he can come back out.
Yeah, he already said Paris is going to be there.
Or he did. Of course, he's got to have him there. But he just got to rein him in a little bit so he doesn't talk so much. But
he was hammered. Wasn't he cursing?
Oh yeah.
He said he was like, fuck the Oscars and everything. Matter of fact, I hope he loses. I hope he loses and goes off and does a Kanye and just runs on stage.
Oh my God.
Oh, so guys, awesome. They just announced that Below is launching December 14th.
Yeah, Below 14th. The Ashen's apparently launching on Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Luca, it says fuck Nintendo. Potter, are you there still? Potter's not talking right now. See, now she's mad at you guys. The two sons that are on the panel.
There's one son on the panel, and I don't know why Luca's mad. She's mad about Destiny. I don't know.
She's not chatting.
She's playing Destiny right now.
So. Oh, she's probably like in a party. There she is, Potter.
What's up?
We thought you left us.
No, I'm still here.
So you're not thrilled about Nintendo or Metroid Prime Trilogy.
I don't care about Nintendo.
Oh my goodness. All right. What about the Dragon Age tease, guys?
Yes.
I mean, aren't you guys excited about that?
Yes, that's the one thing I'm excited about.
They show. Like, what they're gonna show a character, and then that's it. Like, the game is 3 years away. Like,
it's 3 years. That's a next gen game. Like, I'm excited for what it could be because Casey Hudson is back. And it's like I know the type of games he wants to make.
Yes,
so I don't see it being in the same ilk as a last Mass Effect or trying to loot crate it up or whatever. I don't see any of that. I think it's going to be a very good RPG, but you're 3 years out. Like,
hey, Colin Moore already put that tweet out there that said that they're doing this to take your mind off of Anthem.
Yeah, I mean, aren't you guys?
He might be on to something, man. I'm telling you.
He might.
Anthem like this ain't it.
You guys think maybe they're lacking some confidence in Anthem? To me, the logical way to show Anthem instead of a next gen game is coming out 3 years from now.
You know, it does seem pretty odd, and there is something to that. But for me, I'm a huge Dragon Age fan. I'm a huge fan of BioWare Austin, which is the studio that's made all the Dragon Age games. I think they are that puts out quality games even when they don't have a lot of time to do so. And I just want to hear that it's not going to be like Anthem. It's going to be your typical story-driven BioWare RPG. I want those assurances, and I'm good. It could be they could just show a big graphic of Dragon Age 4. And apparently, they don't even have the full official name yet. I don't care.
I would be happy.
Yeah, just let me know that it's not going to be like Anthem, and it's the Dragon Age that I love, so that I got something to look forward to.
I tell you what,
if it doesn't do well, we're not getting another Dragon Age.
Luca, here you go with the
well, you know what though,
reality.
Right, Luca's right. But Luca, you make a good point though. You're right. We won't get another one.
Yeah. It's
that's why I'm not excited, because I'm not going to get my hopes up for something I might not get. So
they're lording Dragon Age over us. Like go buy Anthem.
Pretty much.
I mean, maybe I'll change my mind when I actually see it. Maybe I'll like freak out. But as it stands right now, I'm like, this ain't it, Chief. So.
I don't think you're gonna freak out.
Boss Move says, "I hate the city of Austin. Throw Dragon Age in the bushes."
Blasphemy.
Listen, the thing about Western RPGs is like I see everything. Everything is like BW, right? Before Witcher, after Witcher. Like, it has to sort of shift the paradigm a little bit and do things differently. I mean, since Inquisition, we've gotten Witcher 3. We've gotten Breath of the Wild, which sort of changed the game in terms of like open world stuff. We've gotten an even more detailed open world than like Red Dead, which is starting to lean into like, how do we sort of remove the tediousness from RPG sort of like mechanics, like menus driven stuff. Like if you look at Red Dead is trying to do some of that stuff. Like how do I simplify this and make it seem like an action game, but underneath it still has like some RPG sensibilities. Yeah. And I think that there's been such an evolution that you can't just come out with like your like a regular RPG and slap Dragon Age on it and that be that.
You think they change up the formula a little bit, maybe like more of an action, the vein of an action RPG, as opposed to a traditional RPG? Where, because you're right, I mean, like the menu slots, like even like The Witcher 3, some of those menu slots can be kind of daunting. You have to like, at least for me, I had to take time and figure out like where things went and how to create different concoctions or potions and stuff. I mean, like you got to put time into that stuff.
You do, like, yeah. I mean, it's a lot of menu stuff, and not everybody wants to do that. And again, like there's always a place for traditional RPGs. I love those.
Sure, absolutely.
But I'm talking about also just in terms of like sort of density of the world, like immersiveness in the world, like just things like that to sort of have moved forward. Just giving me a straight up, fantasy RPG isn't necessarily enough now. So, and besides just being like super expensive, super pretty, what does it do different than all these other ones?
I guess for me, when I hear next gen, I'll chime in when I'm making this quick point, but I think for me, like when I heard Dragon Age next gen, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like this, they could utilize the technology next gen to create even more immersive worlds, things that we probably haven't seen yet. And to me at least, that's the intrigue. I mean, I've seen people say, oh well, based on Mass Effect Andromeda, I'm concerned, but I'm not concerned. I have some
concern that the team that did Andromeda doesn't even exist anymore.
Their Montreal team, I think, right?
Yeah, and they're now been moved into EA Motive, which I think has been shut down, or at least the lead for EA Motive has quit or something like that. So regardless, that's not even in BioWare anymore. And the BioWare Austin team has always done Dragon Age. I understand, Witcher 3 was great. It was amazing. It was, genre defining, but no, I haven't. I'm saying I understand that's how people feel about it, but
it was a general question. I didn't know if you beat it.
No. It's on my backlog to get through.
Wait, so you haven't beat The Witcher 3 yet?
No, I haven't. No,
I beat
I've got.
You gotta get on that.
I know. I'm gonna get there. It is. It's within top 5 of my list of games to get through on my Xbox.
Yeah, it's my game of generation.
It's close.
That's my game of the year. This is the year I beat it. My game of the year this year.
Pretty amazing, yeah.
It is.
But it's amazing game.
250, 60 hours.
Yeah.
That Bloody Baron mission was.
I think I get where Slow-Mo's going though. I don't need Dragon Age to do anything different.
Exactly.
A good story.
Yeah. I don't want I don't want every RPG after Witcher 3 to try to be Witcher 3. I want them.
No, I don't think it should try to be Witcher 3.
No. Yeah, but I mean, as far as I mean, like, look, and I like the Inquisition. I know some people had some issues with the beginning parts and the whole big open world aspect and not knowing where to go. No one knew where they were doing. They were where to go. It's just like
hours and hours.
I'm like, you can leave the hinterlands. They told you to freaking leave the hinterlands. Like, I had my one friend. My one friend did completely wiped everything off the hinterlands. He did everything. He was just like, I don't understand this game. I'm like, dude, why think you leave? You only had 2 missions to do there, and then leave. You can do the story. And he was like, really?
Oh shit!
Oh, F this game. I'm done. I'm like, it's your fault, man.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
But it's like, I think. I'm hoping from Dragon Age, they're going to advance the gameplay, the RPG elements, but I still want to be able to like take my protagonist and be able to have this kind of armor and add these kind of skills. If I have a mage, I want mage to be kind of like a fire mage with a little bit of healing, or just go all healing and have. Yeah, bring back blood magic. Like that's the kind of stuff. Like me and Luca could go days talking about this stuff because we're big into Dragon Age. But like the stuff they've already talked about going to Tevinter and having the next one take place there. We haven't seen Tevinter yet. 4 games, 4.5, and it's just like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, yeah, let's go there and. Just give me Dragon Age, damn it. Like, this is what I want. I mean, it has a strong community already.
Someone in Nature said in the live chat, bring back what actually made Dragon Age.
Yes. Yeah, bring back Dragon Age. Like my favorite one is Origins, and that was like old school, or like the gameplay is old school RPG, but I loved it. And it's not for everybody, but it doesn't.
No, it's a solid game, man.
Yeah.
Dragon Age Origins is trash.
Luca?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh wow, that's aggressive. It's aggressive.
I'm joking. Dragon Age Origins has my favorite origin, which is the city elf. I love that. City elf.
That origin story is amazing. Like, whoever wrote that needs to have a standing ovation because that was masterful writing.
I feel like each Dragon Age has done something different, and it's like evolved over time. Well, some will say the Dragon Age 2 is a devolution, but I would say the story was really good, in my opinion. And I preferred the gameplay in Dragon Age 2. But Dragon Age...
you wanted like more action based?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, I love Hawk. Hawk is my favorite. Like, I love Hawk.
Do you guys know they made Dragon Age 2 in just 1 year? EA gave them 1 year to make that game, and then had the whole Austin team work on the Old Republic.
Damn EA.
It's amazing.
It's still a good game though.
Yeah,
no, it was a good game. Yeah,
it's amazing they were able to deliver that in 1 year alone, because most developers can't even get out of pre-production in a year. And these guys, made a game and had it shipped and ready to go in a year with DLC, with all the extra stuff that came with it, and it reused environments, the same environments over and over again. But what do you expect when you only have 1 year of time to work with? So I mean, that's what I said. Like, the Austin team is awesome.
What I cared about was the story. So
yeah, the story was very good. And even though I can't stand Anders, that bastard,
I can't stand Anders either. Fuck him. Yeah. Fuck him. I hate Anders.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. anything involving Anders, he was like, "Hey Hawk, do you want?" I'm like, "No."
Like go away, Anders. No one likes you. But just like, look, here's another great thing about Dragon Age, right? In the first one,
wrap it up, B.
Look, we could talk about Destiny for about 2 hours, but I can't talk about Dragon Age.
No, because we got one more thing to talk about related to Game Awards.
This is my last thing, and I'm gonna say you're not gonna find this in any other game. In Dragon Age Origins, your battle against the antagonist is a debate. It's pretty smart, and it works. Like it is really literally everything that you say can really affect how that debate goes. Whether you win it, whether you get the people behind you or you don't. It's just the whole entire game where you're doing all this combat, all this fighting, all this killing. You get to that part and you're like, damn, this is serious.
What did you play as? What character class, whatever it was?
Dude, I've done every single Origin, so I played them all. I've had a rogue, I've had the warriors, I've had mages, I've had different kinds. I've done it all with Origin. So
cool. All right, real quick, because I do want to get, because I do have to wrap up the show, but I do want to get to one more topic as relates to video game awards. We're gonna have to do the whole E3 thing, I think, next week, because that's a whole long conversation. But guys, we know who Jeff Keighley loves. We know he loves.
Man. Yeah, man.
You know what's coming.
Yes, I can't wait.
We're gonna see some Death Stranding.
Oh no!
I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Wait
for it.
You're excited not to know more about the game.
I can't wait to be confused.
I'm just gonna ask.
Wait, man.
Knows what the game is.
What's that?
What?
No, I'm gonna ask Sam. Sam apparently knows what the game is. Like the whole throw. I don't know. I don't know.
He has a pretty good theory.
Yeah, Sam has a pretty good theory about it. If you ask him about the live chat, he'll break it down. It sounds pretty convincing. Like it's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So B, you're excited for it then?
Hell yeah.
Me too, man.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. That's beyond Dragon Age, and hopefully, because
Splinter Cell.
Jeff put out his little video of the Game Awards, like pre
yeah, he did do that
video, whatever, and Sam Fisher was in there, and then he had the Ghost of Tsushima was in there, and there's something else. But like as long as those games are there, I'm good. Dragon Age will be cool. I don't understand why there's a new Far Cry game. They just released a game this year, but whatever.
Didn't Far Cry sell like a lot?
They did.
Yeah, it actually did well. It was like I think up until Red Dead and Call of Duty released, it was like the top selling game this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah. They're probably dropping some big DLC or something like that for it. But I'm also interested in Obsidian's new game. I want to see what that's about.
Yeah, I want to see that too.
Guys, you think we're going to see Splinter Cell?
No,
I would love to.
I want it bad, super bad. Like they don't show me anything else. Like show me Splinter Cell, and I'm good.
Oh man!
But if they're showing are they showing Far Cry? Is that what it is? They're showing the new Far Cry post-apocalyptic game tomorrow.
Well, they showed the trailer today.
They tweeted about it. They tweeted about it. Oh yeah, Borderlands 3 is going to be there. I'm excited.
Nah, I don't know, man.
No, it's going to be there.
Randy Pitchford said he's going to be there.
He's been dropping hints all week too.
He has been Take-Two's earnest call for them to announce it and get the.
I think they're going to announce Aliens, Colonial Marines too.
Have the audacity to name it that. I'd have to buy it just to see what it is.
Oh my god! Could you imagine the reaction people would have? It'd be like, "What the?"
Yeah, I think Randy realized after Battleborn bombed that people don't want to see you make anything but Borderlands.
Facts.
So Borderlands, and that's it. Don't make any other new IP. We don't want to see it. We want Borderlands.
That's true, man. That's true. Lord Sovereign, are you excited for Death Stranding?
No, honestly, I know what it is to be perfect. How it plays, what the hook of the game is. I have a love-hate relationship with Kojima, man. Like it just sometimes it just feels like he just everybody's like, oh, he's such a genius, and like sometimes I just feel like he he just over describes things to a point. Like he just puts you, like, confuses you into submission. And like,
no, let's be honest, man. Most people don't want to go and play a game where they feel like it's a triple feature at a movie theater because it's 9 hours and cutscenes in a game.
Yeah. Like until I see what the gameplay loop of this game is, whatever. And and I don't want to see another weird video and weird, CG thing that doesn't really tell me much about the game. Like, give me a release date, give me something sort of concrete, and then
cool.
It does. Like, it looks like a weird, cool Kojima thing, and I mean, I hope it's great. But
I love how we're referring to it as a weird, cool Kojima thing.
Yeah, it's a Kojima thing.
And
I've never played a Kojima game, so I think it looks like the concept is interesting. I like that weird stuff, you know, but. The gameplay, quote unquote, that they showed last time was very uninspired, and I was like, "This ain't it, Chief." So I'm not like super hype about it. Like, so
the thing
that
I'm interested in about this is that this is him unleashed, right? Like, as weird as his Metal Gear games have been, they've been somewhat grounded because it's Metal Gear, right? You still have to work within the constraints of whatever that world is. This is his whole imagination vomited out onto a game. Like, I don't even want to know.
Hey, I said this months ago, man. I said never go full Kojima. and they only letting him go full Kojima, and this is what we getting. Like, everyone trashes Konami, and they deserve to be trashed for how they treated the Metal Gear franchise. But maybe they was kind of reining him in a little bit. Was like, hey, Kojima, that don't make any sense. Don't do that. Like, hey, now he's
take 6 years to make a game. Go work for Rockstar. You know what I mean? Like, go do that.
I mean, the opening to Metal Gear was the last Metal Gear was awkward, like interesting.
I don't know, man, what that was.
I was like, okay, what am I? Whoa, yeah, okay. Anyhow, but you know what? You guys think this is one thing that you think this is something that will maybe if this goes bad, could this be the time we look back and we just quote what Slow-Mo's been saying the entire time? Never go full on Kojima.
Never want to do that.
I don't think
it's gonna be bad. My whole problem with the game is we still don't know what the hell it is.
Because
that's on purpose. That's on purpose.
And like Lucas said, what they showed at E3, that gameplay looked complete. I mean, it looked weird and cool, but it looked very uninspired. Like, he was just walking.
Yeah, man, he was a delivery man for real.
That's all the breadcrumbs, man. If y'all haven't been studying Kojima, like, you would know. Those are all the breadcrumbs, man. That's why, like, all the little trailers that he's dropped, like, he's shown every, like, main characters that's going to be in the game.
That's my beef, though. Like, a lot of times the breadcrumbs don't lead to this grand revelation. They leads to like a real basic concept, and it's like, really, this is what you wanted to tell me? Why didn't you come out and tell me? Like,
that's Kojima.
That's true,
formula, man.
You know what's funny though is a very unlikely source kind of like dropped some knowledge on it. Conan O'Brien was in Japan. Yes, he went to Kojima Productions and he saw everything and recorded everything. But then they said, hey, look, can you hold back and not like put this out on, on social media until a certain time? But he still talked about it with people and was like, yeah, like he's got this real confusing marketing campaign going where he just wants to confuse everyone. And then later on, he's just going to drop all this great, information that we all recorded all out all at once and explain the game and show you the gameplay, but we can't show it until after they do that. And I'm like, all right, that's fine, but
breadcrumbs, man. Breadcrumbs.
It's still a Kojima game. Like, I mean, even when he hasn't done stuff like this, I've looked at some of these Metal Gear games and been like, I'm a pass.
All right, guys, one more question for the panel. Does Jeff Keighley tear up tomorrow night when he announces Kojima on stage?
Yes.
There will be multiple hugs.
Is there a Man of the Year award in this? Because Kojima might get
it. Yeah.
Yeah, that bromance is real.
Oh man,
we saw that last year for sure. So, but look, guys, we got to wrap up the show tonight. We didn't get to one of the topics tonight. Does gaming need E3? I think we'll talk. We'll just talk about that next week. But I want to give a big shout out to Lord Sovereign of the IOP. Sob, man, it's finally great to have you back on, man. It's been a long time, and
yeah, it has been a long time. Thank you so much for having me, guys. It's always fun to come on with you guys. Like, our podcast tends to be a little crazy, going back and forth. This is a lot more measured, so everybody can talk and, like, you know, addict that he's always interrupting people. So it's good to be able to get your point off. But thank you guys. I really appreciate it, and hopefully I can do it again sooner rather than later.
Yeah, man, no doubt. Like I said, man, the IOP's family, man. So it's you guys are always welcome to come on board. I'm trying to get Attic, man. I sent him a DM and he never responded to me. So I'm trying to get
Attic being hiding, man. Anytime you want Attic to do something, he reneges on us.
Well, no, Lord Addict was actually available. It was everyone else. So for me.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, for you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for you. Yeah.
It's nice to see it. It's nice to see. I was gonna say it's nice to see a Lord that doesn't play Destiny, though. I thought you guys were all tied at the hip.
No, man. This is when they brought me on, right? And I told Cog, I'm like, Cog, I don't know about this Lord moniker, man, because I don't play any Destiny, dude. I am not about that, and I love Bungie. Like, I am a Halo head. So when they, you know, started with Destiny, initially I was very excited because I'm like, all right, this story is going to be great. That's what I come to a Bungie game for. And for me, it's just like, once I started seeing the grindy stuff, and the funny thing is, I'm very willing to grind in other types of games. It's just for whatever reason here, I'm like, I don't see the reward necessarily. Like the rewards you get aren't enough to keep me hooked.
Yeah.
Like I'll play, like the gunplay is fantastic, and I'll play for a little bit. And then once it starts getting hot and heavy, where you know, King is talking about, yeah, we got to be in here every single day. And I find that, like, you're constantly repeating like the same activities, that turned me off completely.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I hear you, man. I hear you. Well, Sovereign, man, if you wouldn't mind plugging the IOP, let everybody know when you guys go on live.
Absolutely, man. You can catch me and the rest of the Iron Lords every Sunday. For now at 11 a.m. Eastern time on YouTube. And then I think after the Super Bowl, we'll be back to our 1 p.m. time. So every Sunday, 11 a.m. and then 1 p.m. on YouTube. There.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you again, man. Like I said, we gotta get you back on, and gotta get the other Iron Lords back on again soon too. So always a pleasure, man. Thank you. And a big shout out to Potter. The Ashen one.
Who?
Father.
Father. Yes,
Lucas,
thank you very much for having me.
No, Lucas, so glad you could join us tonight and talk a little Destiny and keep your boys in order too.
You know I must have bored Slow-Mo, but whatever.
Slow-Mo, you need to be nice to your mom, Slow-Mo, or your father.
What did I do? I didn't do anything.
Me and Forte were having a nice conversation about Destiny, and you were just huffing and puffing. So you're gonna die on Scumcast this weekend.
Wow. Is that how we're going, Luca?
Really? I am really looking forward to Scumcast this weekend. What I gotta say.
That is gonna be funny.
You know.
So
Luca, they're already dead, so whatever. Maybe.
Wow.
You know what, Luca? We not gonna be going through this right now. Let's wrap it. Let's wrap it up.
Let everyone know where they can find you guys. Yes. Scumcast Saturday.
You can find me on Twitter at the Ashen Luca, arguing with people, and then you can find me on my own channel, same name, and I have a podcast called Scumcast. I've had most of the Iron Lords on, so it's been a good time. You know, good shit. It's a very argumentative, cast with a lot of drama, which I enjoy. So I can't wait for that. Can't wait to kill Slow-Mo again.
Again? This is funny.
Again?
This is.
What do you mean?
She's not lying.
No, it's not.
Like your name should just be Lomo because of how you take.
Lomo.
Damn.
Lomo. Jesus.
You see, Luca being real salty because I didn't want to talk about Destiny no more.
Oh,
all right.
She called you Lomo. Oh my God. All right. Yeah, so please everyone catch the ILP on Sundays and Scumcast on Saturdays. B Money, man. Hey, you got to plug Tick, man.
Yeah, man. Come through and check out the new crew that we got on there. You know, we added Tyrant Clowns, Delilah HD, and you know, Kyle's is there, and Sam, and I'm forgetting somebody. Oh, Post Up BBB. You know what I mean? Post Up is there as well. So
nice, man.
Come through and check out the show on Saturday nights, 10:30 Eastern Standard Time, man.
All right, man. Sounds good. And Forte, you have a channel as well, my friend. Why don't you go ahead and plug your channel?
Yeah, as always. Great discussions. Thanks for stopping by, Mr. Sovereign, the Lord himself.
Thank you.
And you always can find me on Twitter at gaming_forte and YouTube at gamingforte.
All right. And Mr. Eric Jackson, you also do a podcast on Saturdays, man.
Yeah, the Gaming Perspective podcast with the host, Nicholas Undead 3XVI, Mr. Sam Tolbert, and Rage Virus Jared.
Awesome,
it's
man.
At 8 o'clock on Saturday nights.
All right. And Lomo, you are on Scumcast as well on Saturdays. This is...
Okay, with the fake laughter. All right. Catch me on Twitter. Same name, Slow-Mo Backslap, and also on the Scumcast this Saturday, where apparently I'm going to die again or something like that. So yeah, good times, good chat.
Yeah, there's no Phoenix coming back this time.
Okay, stop nut hugging, Forte. Thank you.
Oh wow!
Okay. Whoa! Oh, see, this is when you know Slow-Mo's in his feelings right now because he goes straight to the insult.
No, I said stop nut hugging, and here you go again. Every single time I say anything to you, Forte,
what
you
nut,
go
what
to
nuts, wait, hold on. What nuts am I holding, sir?
/triggered.
Sir, what nuts am I
I'm not
holding?
triggered.
What nuts am I holding, sir?
Luca's nuts.
Oh, so you are saying that I have a dick, which means I am your father. Okay, we're
no,
Nice night.
Yeah, she's leaving with that one. That's it. That's like mic drop moment.
That is mic drop.
Dream work.
Lomo, you can't say anything after that.
I'm not answering to that name every game.
Forte, I'm gonna commission J. I'm gonna commission J-Dub, not J-Dub, to Graphic God to put that underneath your banner now.
Wow. Hey, Forte, you're right. He gets his feelings, man. He does start lobbing insults.
No, he does. He does. That's if you want to know when you got Slow-Mo in that moment where you can just destroy him. If he start calling you
First off, you've never destroyed me, Forte. So that's something you've never experienced before. So you're
sir, I don't remember a debate that you won.
I don't remember every single debate. So what are you even talking about? Two, everyone in here in these past 5 minutes have lobbed insults. So is everyone else triggered, or is it just me?
It's just you.
And you come up with an actual logical argument that makes any sense whatsoever? Oh, you can't. Okay, thank you.
Oh, we got him.
All right. Whoa. Okay, hey guys, time out real quick. I just want to say we're gonna go ahead and time out. We're gonna go ahead and wrap up the show. I want to give a big shout out to everyone in the live chat. Thank you for coming out tonight, hanging out with us on BRAP. Come back next week, same time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please check out our guest podcast, the Iron Lords podcast on Sunday, Scumcast Saturday to see Lomo get killed, and Tick on Saturday, and Gaming Perspective on Saturday as well. On that note, we are out.
Bye.
Peace.
Peace.